company be like, bicycle, bicycle, piano. I guess we're doing pianos now, says this worker. Piano, piano, golf cart. I guess we're doing golf carts now, says this worker. Golf cart, a yacht. I freaking hate this company. I literally just talked about this in a video earlier this week. Does Yamaha make literally everything? They're technically known for their musical instruments, but they also for some reason make motorcycles, scooters, e-bikes, and basically just anything that would require a motor at some point. They of course also helped Japan during World War II as well. Yo, freak this company. I'm transferring to Samsung. Is that a cat? Yes, finally a normal company. Cell phone, cell phone, cell phone, cell phone. Okay, what the hell? Where does it end? So does all Japanese and South Korean companies produce pretty much every single product there is out there? To be fair, Samsung of course mostly produces electronics, but Samsung Heavy Industry happens to be one of the largest shipbuilders in the entire world. Funny enough, multiple South Korean companies love building giant ships though. Meanwhile, in the United States of America, let's see how they're doing. Hey, oh yeah, brother. Oh look, it's the Ford company. Pretty much just also producing every type of vehicle there is. Some that even fly, I guess. Even I have to admit, I am kind of a Ford guy. Just don't ask what Henry Ford was doing back during the World War II times. Though he was an American, well, he kind of just had an interesting relationship with Germany before that conflict broke out. Meanwhile, in China... Oh, wait, that's, guess this should have gave that away. This has happened way too often in that country. Yes, Texas Instruments, calculator, bombs? Guess we doing laser-guided bombs now. These poor workers on the assembly line, they never know what's gonna come up next. Don't forget, Texas Instruments also makes like a giant javelin gun. Sorry, that's a javelin anti-tank weapon. I don't know why a calculator company needs to do that, but alright. Japanese zero, Japanese zero, Japanese zero. Is that an air conditioner? I guess we lost World War II now, says this Japanese worker. No problem, we'll just adapt and make AC units. I guess we're making race cars now? Well, whatever, as long as the money keeps on flowing. What the hell is that? I hate this freaking company. Another Japanese company, this one, Mitsubishi. It's definitely hard for the rest of the world to wrap our head around just how many products certain companies can make in this region of the world. It's like they just have 3 companies that literally make everything. As we saw earlier, to be fair, America used to have companies like this, with Ford and then so many car companies having to transition to the World War II times for manufacturing. Yeah, all US civilian factories in 1942 be like. I mean, let's also not pretend like the Soviets didn't do it either, or pretty much every country during World War II. But yeah, who needs tractors when the no-no Germans are invading and you need thousands of T-34s? Not that great of a tank, but man, if you make a bunch of them, how can they stop them all? It's actually quite impressive just how versatile certain car companies really are. Imagine just producing a V1 rocket. Finally, a normal American company. GE just producing refrigerators, washers and dryers, and sometimes... What's that shit called again? Iron. Clearly don't iron my clothes. Well, as long as nothing changes, GE what? What the freak, GE? Is that a freaking Gatling gun? Why would you even need to do this? It's crazy. The more insane thing is, they all cost about the same too. Oh, I love these noodle products and Colgate. I guess grocery store isn't really a bad idea. Well, there's also TVs, cell phones, and refrigerators too. I think this stuff would be very essential to many people. And the tanks start hitting the conveyor belt. Wait, what? Again, Samsung. I actually didn't know Samsung made tanks, but at this point, I don't even think anything surprises me after this video. These memes just really show how easy it is for any company to jump into the defense industry if they want. Yo, give this to Ukraine. I want to see the Samsung tank on the battlefield. The Russian T-54 inside Czechoslovakia, but here's the Czech T-72 inside of Russia. What goes around comes around. Finally, the Czechs, maybe Slovakia as well, got their revenge on the Russians. It's about time. They still hold a grudge for this moment here. Dictators now. Why did you invade Ukraine? Putin here talking about Russian history for 3 hours versus dictators back then. Why did you invade Kuwait? Cause frick 'em. That's why. I mean, you can't argue with that. You just didn't like him very much. Well, okay then. Go ahead. No need to list just 3,000 excuses right here. No, but the funny thing is, that ended up being a horrible excuse, though, for Saddam invading Kuwait. So maybe this is why you don't just say, cause frick 'em, that's why. Highway systems in the US, $3.50 per gallon, or 92 cents per liter. This is the life. Meanwhile, train systems in the EU, always late, loud and expensive, no privacy, and train stations are cesspools. This is quite the interesting argument, because the truth is, this is true. The trains are way too expensive in Europe. But there's one thing this meme seems to forget about, and that's that flights in this continent are dirt cheap. They're forced to compete with rails, so you can get like an $18 flight from London to Barcelona or something like that. It might not be that cheap, but you'd be surprised. From London to Paris, that's literally 47 bucks. Also, this may be the price in the heartland of the country, but that is not the price in California, I'll tell you that. It's usually hovering around $5 in a lot of places. Yes, let's see how the Mongolian Empire did during the Paris Olympics this year. year, taking home 75 bronze, 73 silver, and 79 gold. That is by far beating out the USA, and it's not even close. Now, to be fair, this is using that same logic as the People's Republic of China, since that country loves to include Taiwan and Hong Kong in their medal wins, saying that they won the most medals. But if we're gonna play that game, then China, Hong Kong, South Korea, North Korea, and Mongolia themselves all contribute to the great Mongolian Empire back in the day. And even more than just that, man, they're winning. With a Labour government in power and Oasis back together, all we need now are some airstrikes on Kosovo, and it'll feel like 1997 all over again. Ah, the good old days. I did not realize how much the British love the band Oasis. I'm a little bit afraid to say this because I know people are gonna get mad, but I find them kind of... When I was a kid, I liked them. Damn, I don't know if I should say that. I guess it is cool that they're putting aside their differences here. Sitting here in my underwear with my top off, and he's watching videos of the collapse of Yugoslavia. Literally me? I'm sorry, that can wait. I'm obsessed with the collapse of Yugoslavia. I can't possibly explain it, honestly. Tractor Jeep, rocket Jeep, 37mm anti-tank Jeep, helicopter Jeep. Never underestimate our obsession for Jeeps, I'll tell you that. I've always liked Jeep. And now I like them even more because apparently they had a bunch of experimental vehicles during World War II. They even tried what is known as a Jeep train. This is so ridiculous. Pew pew laser sci-fi fighters when they have to deal with actual integrated air defense instead of World War II-esque flag. Like, something? Yeah. They literally stand no chance. I don't care if you have a TIE fighter. It's not going to be able to dodge all 1,000 missiles I'm about to launch at it. Go ahead and try, though. George W. Bush apparently believed that Iraq and Afghanistan were singled out in end times prophecy. He told the French president at the time in a 2003 call, appealing to their common Christian values, this conversation is willed by God. He wants to use this conflict to erase his people's enemies before a new age begins. That Catholic French leader at the time called a French Federation of Protestant leader to ask what the hell George Bush was talking about. Jesse, what the hell are you talking about? The most George Bush thing. I think he was trying to appeal to him somehow. He just came off as crazy. He literally said, bruh, what is this Protestant nonsense? Living in Germany, I often forget the small but important differences that make the UK so quintessentially British. Like carpet in the bathroom. This is so dang disgusting. I'm sorry. I mean, it really is. There should never be carpet in the bathroom. I didn't know that the British love carpet. I know Americans love carpet, but we do not put it in our bathroom. That is just a terrible, terrible idea. Get that crap out of here. I've literally never seen a carpet in a British bathroom or toilet room. Yeah, maybe this person's just a freak. As a European, this is how I imagine American breakfast be like. Meanwhile, this American comment, the breakfast gun goes on the left, bro. Don't you know your etiquette? It's literally first grade, SpongeBob. One day I'll have to go over breakfast gun etiquette. Dutch people be like, hill. Talk about literally the highest peak in the Netherlands. I mean, they don't call it the lowlands for nothing. What did you expect? A guide to Australian food. On the left, we have chips. On the right, we have chips. These also chips. These chips. Finally, chips. But there's also biscuits, biscuit burger. They're not combined. Prawn. And that concludes our intensive 3-week course. Man, food would be such an easier topic to learn about if I went to elementary school in Australia. Why was I born in this prison of the US? I love their philosophy of taking both the British and American ways and just saying it's all chips and biscuits. Asia means the Sinosphere plus ASEAN. Middle Easterners and subcontinentals are not Asian. Who the hell said this? What a ludicrous statement. But unfortunately, this is how, I mean, a lot of Americans and other people in general think when they hear the word I'm Asian. So what are the other people that live on the continent of Asia supposed to be called? That's what I wonder. The fact that 500 people liked this too, like what? I don't understand. Western Europe for 50 euros. Meanwhile, 5 euros in the Middle East. The older I get, the more I appreciate countries like this. And on the contrary, the less I appreciate for this. Give me that full course meal for like 3 cents. When people talk about Mediterranean nations, holding up Turkey, Greece, and Italy. Meanwhile, Portugal, France, and Spain drowning. But here's Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco, who's already dead. Oh, and there's so much more. Israel, Egypt, Cyprus, and probably the two that shocked the most people of all, the Mediterranean nation of Syria. Oh, and don't forget Bosnia. Bosnia technically does border the Adriatic Sea, just not very much. When you're boycotting Indian products, and then you realize your country is itself an Indian product. Oh, shots fired at Bangladesh here. Some tension going on between the Bangladeshis and Indians, apparently. This is probably only gonna heighten some intensity. The The year is 1950. Oh, we're at the big company. Pens, pens, pens. The year is 1987. Pens, pens, and more pens. The year is 2024. Pens, pens, pens. Are they ever gonna change the design of this thing? So I guess not every single company out there gets into defense. Maybe it's kind of a nice breath of fresh air. I swear, when human civilization dies out and aliens come to visit Earth like 100,000 years from now, they are gonna find these things everywhere. They're probably gonna think they were like religious artifacts. Big thanks to my patrons this month. I tried to kidnap Drew again, but he put me in his basement. Help. Drew's Argentinian Grandpa. I can't sleep without Drew's voice. Nord, Tyler, Archaeology, aPhatNarwhal,
Carmel,
Sarsath,
Pavlik,
DaBeautiful-MEGAN-Underwood,
Fredrik
Tibblin,
JohnDenver,
KansasWasMentioned, KingBearHaze,
Mgmluthegoat,
the sebby. If you hear this, I